right. Let me just make sure that this is working. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Oh, that's cool. All right. Let's see. How do I? I guess I don't know who's watching. Okay, yeah. So I see myself watching. Cool. All right. And X, I can check. Okay, cool. I just checked everywhere and I guess I'm live. Okay. So I guess since this is being recorded and I'll clip it up later and do all kinds of clip farming stuff, just kind of explaining what I'm doing here. Yeah, my screen looks crazy and I have the stream stuff up, and I know that's taking up some portion of real estate, but I'll click away from that since I'm confident that it's that's streaming. So, okay, what the hell am I doing here? So I've gotten really into vibe coding, which is AI assisted coding, agentic coding. People debate on these terms. I've recently started kind of posting on social media and kind of pushing it out with Buffer. I guess maybe I'll kind of show that kind of end to end. I'm trying to be like a one-man army here. I'm trying to create the product, market the product, and I mean, I'm sure this is how all startups are, but like I'm kind of going meta and showing how this is actually done, how I'm actually doing this while I'm doing it. So yeah, I'm doing Buffer for like social media. I've got a bunch of posts queued up, just to kind of be, I don't know, edgy, but not really in like a positive way, right? Like to whatever, get people to start talking about AI coding, and people love to hate on it, but I think it's one of the most powerful forces that we have as developers, moving forward for writing code. And I don't think us slinging characters around by hand is those days are gone, right? So, anyways, we're just checking. That's probably just me watching. Um, so overall, what am I doing? What am I vibe coding? So I've got several different projects. So each project gets a terminal window, and if I have multiple tabs, terminal tabs, those are all. At least this is how I'm organizing my thought process. Each directory or each project gets a terminal window, and then if I need like to look at that directory, this is the Roxas directory, I just open up a new tab for that terminal. So this shows me all the different files in there. So, okay, starting on, that's kind of what you're seeing. These different terminal windows are different projects. I'll go through the projects in a second, just to kind of orient ourselves. But this is the different projects. Like what I have up here are like kind of overview windows. I tentatively have a goal of trying to hit 100% usage every day on the Claude Code chat, or Claude Code, whatever meter here, and hit weekly, like 100% weekly, right? I'm currently on the $100 a month plan, and this is only after like I'm at 38% usage. After, I don't know, I guess a decent number of sessions. But that was me like on vacation. Like it was last week, it was Thanksgiving, so I was kind of vibe coding in between running around, visiting family and whatnot. And I think I can do this moving forward, either in the early mornings or the evenings, in terms of like streaming, and vibe coding and kind of showing the process. Like literally, like I think that's what people get hung up on is what is vibe coding? How do I do it? And oh, it didn't give me the right thing the first try. And I think people really get hung up on that. People who are excellent at software development, like they're currently professionals, like that. This is a thing I hear. I see posted online. And it's really popular to be negative about AI online. And I think with technology, like in capitalism, whatever, we can get into that at some point. But like these changes are coming, and we can't really, I don't know, we don't have enough money to push back on them, so may as well like embrace them, right? Uh, so for at least for me and my work and my coding, for my job, I am fully embracing it. I'm using it as a way to be like getting ahead, I guess, and kind of embracing that this is a different skill set. Let's see. Maybe is there like a different way to do views? Like, because I'm not really doing anything like right now. Kind of like, this is oh, interesting. Okay. Because oh no, I think I lost. Did you lose me? Did you lose my video? No, yeah, I don't want to do OBS. Video settings, video. Yeah, no, I want to do MacBook camera. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's see. Yeah, because I would rather like this. If I'm like doing talking parts, I want to. Oh, okay, cool, sweet. And that's an easy way to. All right, cool. Gotcha. Mirror camera. Sorry, I'm learning how to use this. Like remove key placeholder, customize access. All right, cool. Anyways, I'm talking about this. Um, where oh yeah, kind of explaining my thought process. So vibe coding is a transformational skill. It's completely different than regular programming, and I think that's what people are tripping up on. People are very defensive. They feel like, oh, AI is coming for my job and it's going to automate my programming, and my typing skills will be useless, right? Like this is kind of the line of reasoning, or my esoteric knowledge of how systems fit together will be useless. Like that, it's coming from a place of fear, right? Um, and yes, some companies will use AI as like a quote unquote AI as a cover for laying people off. I don't doubt that. But they were going to lay people off anyway, right? Like they were just using that as an excuse. I don't. The actual AI efficiency gains are only going to increase the demand for developers, and this is all like um, based on the book by Gene Kim and Steve Yegi. Very serious people. Like Gene Kim is a very like revered in DevOps circles. He's kind of a folk hero, demigod of DevOps. He's written a lot of important books, one of which, the Phoenix Project, kind of is the Bible for DevOps and kind of working in small batches and organizational skills around software development. And I think that's the key skill. And they don't mention this part in the book. Well, they do. They touch on it. Um, but I think I can really emphasize that more is like, hey, now that we have agents that are essentially junior developers, if we treat them as if they were junior developers, they're going to they're going to produce code on their own, right? And we just need to steer them and guide them and make sure that uh, that whatever they produce, we eventually guide it towards the right solution, right? If we think about them as if they were junior developers, um, junior developers are going to like my me myself 10 years ago when I was a junior developer. Yeah, I probably produced a lot of crap, and like I needed to be steered. I needed to be guided towards the right answer, right? So over time, working with these AIs, we need to. Um, I need to sneeze. So we need to guide these AIs towards um, towards the correct what we want them to do, because they're trained on all public facing code, right? So they can go a lot of different directions, and like it's whatever autocomplete type of thing where we just say the next day. So Okay, cool. I guess I'm back. Um, so maybe that's why I need like a dual monitor setup. I need to just do this in my office and be connected um, to my Ethernet. Anyways, so yeah, vibe coding, people get very upset about it and it's very charged. And I'm going to be honest, I'm using that as a way to get engagement online. I'm engagement baiting positive AI messages out there. Uh, at least AI coding, because I don't know, I want my job to be automated, right? Like I want like that's the fundamental thing about programmers and DevOps and all that is like we want to automate our jobs. We want to make our jobs easier. That kind of pushes us up the stack and like pushes more abstractions between us and whatever systems that we're making, and we can get a higher and higher level view of software development of whatever systems that we manage. Um, and Gene Kim and Stevie Aggie make this point in their book is that managers kind of already vibe code, right? If you think about it, like and management in general, like tech manager, like the frontline managers, middle management, upper management, like they're all kind of vibe coding themselves, right? If you think about it, like is your VP reading every line of code and reviewing it? No, right? That would be too much. That would be too uh, burdensome, right? They're not like your CEO isn't reading every line of code that comes across their desk, right? Like uh, they're not reviewing PR. They're not every PR. They're not merging things. They're not really in the day to day of coding, right? So vibe coding already existed prior to this AI revolution, right? It was just called hiring software engineers, right? So with these agents, software developers are uh, now managers. We're now in the management seat of saying, hey, we want to do X, Y, and Z. We want these inputs and have these outputs come out. Uh, so now we're kind of being pushed up the stack. We're being abstracted away, and we are the ones who are whatever automating our jobs away, right? Hopefully, maybe we'll see. But so vibe coding is more management than writing. It's more like what a manager does is like, hey, I want feature X to do X, Y, feature A to do X, Y, and Z, and I want to give it these inputs and get these outputs. So the that's the way that people like have been doing management forever, right? Like there's this meme where it's like somebody at the top of the pyramid, hey, do something. Somebody further down, hey, do something, do something, do something. Eventually, the frontline worker does something, right? So it's just now the frontline worker is now an agent, that sits on your laptop. Uh, so what we code with agents is going to be different. It's going to be like we're just defining the inputs and outputs. We're defining the black box and getting some idea of the white box implementation. Like we can tell it, hey, give us the white box and like show us how it works or whatever. But it may be in something that we don't necessarily understand or don't really have a lot of experience in. So maybe that's not effective, and we just kind of have to trust it, right? Just hey, this is a thing that we are going to have to go up based on vibes or whatever. So anyways, so that's kind of my intro spiel. Here we are, vibe coding. I've got 3 different terminals for 3 different projects. One cool thing about vibe coding is that we're doing we can like work on multiple things at a time, right? Like we kick things off for one agent, and then it returns back to us at some point in the future. Maybe we got it a little bit along the way, but it's kind of asynchronous. We kick it off, it does its thing, and then we can work on something else. We have to wait a little bit. We can work on a different thing. So now I'm up to 3 projects, and one main project is called Roxas. You can see that. You can see it here, Roxas. Here, Roxas. The idea is that my first idea is that open source projects have terrible marketing. Like, probably a lot of the internet relies on a handful of people doing free work for no money somewhere on GitHub, right? And the funding model is kind of broken. People do like incredibly important work that most of the internet depends on, and they may not, like, whatever. They may not be getting compensated for the value of their work. And yeah, like, people donate to these things, and like companies, but like companies for the large part, like, just, I don't know who exactly maintains all these different open source projects that I use, but the kind of disconnect is that these open source projects have no marketing. So like the business people have no idea what these open source projects do and how important they are to the business and to the internet in general. So I kind of wanted to automate the process for marketing, automate marketing with basically every Git commit should, I know it has the potential to be like an AI slot machine, like, which it is for first version, right? Is every commit produces social media posts like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want to post. It takes the commit, or will take the commit message, the diffs, and then make it like a kind of business friendly like post, and like kind of a way for regular people or business people with money to understand what is going on with these technical projects that may not have a fancy UI and a dashboard and so some kind of things that for business people to understand. Business people love their dashboards, right? So we need to be able to produce some kind of artifacts if it's every PR merge or every whatever, commit to master, main, whatever, whatever, like however, or if it's just every release or every Git tag or whatever, on whatever schedule you want to do this. We take all these Git commits, or the Git commits, the changes, package them up, and make a post about them, because developers hate social media in general, right? They're not, kind of by definition, not the biggest social media people. So that's the idea behind the project. Roxas is kind of a play off of Sora, because I thought I would use OpenAI's Sora model. I know it's not named after the video game Sora, but like the Kingdom Hearts Sora, but like, play on words, right? So, yeah, that is that. Let's see. That's that project. So then now we're going to be doing this one down here is my buckshot project. So buckshot, we need. So I'm trying to make these things as lightweight. So like Roxas is the main project, and then now I'm like adding tools, making tools around the project uh, for AI driven development or vibe coding, and making the process better. Steve Yagi had a very kind of important seminal work with beads. Like he produced this. Oh, I need to update my beads. So beads is super important because it creates issues for your agents to use, right? It's like a lightweight Jira, basically. I'll start it. I guess I hadn't started yet, but it allows agents to plan things, but not like litter your project with to-do files and markdown files and things like that. It is a structured way to organize issues, and we're able to kind of and the key insight here is that beads is like the key insight is that we need to extend all of the software developer analogies to agents. Like if an agent needs an issue tracker, what else what else does it need? Like we just need to treat it like a software developer, and it will become a better and better one over time. So because context windows are just the number of tokens that an agent can keep in their working memory at one time. Very much like humans, right? We can only keep so much knowledge and like working things to remember in our head at one time. So once once these agents fill up to a certain degree, we need to kill them and like restart them, and their performance degrades a lot after say 50%. So beads helps this out by kind of persisting these memories. They're going from, in human psychology terms, going from like short-term storage or like a short-term like memory and pushing them to more like long-term storage, long-term potentiation here. So beads is like, this is an important tool that everyone who's vibe coding should use. So tools around vibe coding are going to be super important, and I think you should be able to like kind of pick and choose a little bit, because people are just going to download Claude Code or whatever agent, and it's not going to be a very it's not. We don't want like a whole like suite of tools. Like maybe eventually we'll build those out, but like it's going to be very hard to like have an opinion. Oh, hey, everyone who's watching on YouTube. I don't know. I'm just kind of peeking, and I don't know who. I don't have any views to the chats or anything like that. So I'm just saying what's up to whoever's there. Welcome. Oh, here's the chats. Okay, never miss a comment. Click on a chat message to display show on stream. Okay. Oh, there we go. Cool. I had no idea. First time doing this, so how do I? Okay. What does this look like? Let's see. Okay. I guess I'm gonna be tiny until I figure out how to fix the screen or whatever here. Let's see. Can I don't know. Anyways, getting off track here. So we need tools around our agents, and tools are kind of, yeah, we need to give our agents capabilities, and people are doing that with MCP servers to like reach into other systems and giving the agents the ability to do things in other systems. But another thing I think we need to think about, another layer that we need to think about, is that if we're thinking about agents as software developers, we need to think of them as a team of developers. So my project, Buckshot, kind of like a spray type of thing. I don't know. Maybe I need to rename it in terms of to like Roundtable. Maybe that's, is that name taken? uh, let's see. Probably. Yeah, maybe not. Roundtable AI. Oh, it's hilarious. Roundtable AI. Yeah. People named it, used that name already. But anyways, we need to use multiple agents. So all these agents are everybody and their mother has an agent, right? So like I have, that's this thing is, so this is Claude. This is first one. I think this is Augie, the Augment AI agent. This is Codex, the OpenAI one. This is Gemini, I believe. Yeah, this looks like Gemini. And then Cursor agent. And then you can also do like AMP. So there's like, I've got 6 of them. Or no, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. Okay, yeah, I just updated. It's there. So I've got 6 agents installed locally here, right? Let me use them. This is kind of my thinking behind the project, is that, all right, how do I get usage out of, like, I've got Claude, like the Claude premium, like the max plan here, right? 0% usage, but I'm trying to use 100% once a day, at least, maybe twice, like either once or twice a day. I want to max out the current session usage. But the there's all these other agents that are just as useful as Claude, right? But they're also not free. Like they have free tiers, but then yeah, I don't know. I feel like Claude is like probably this industry standard agent that everyone uses, and then I want to incorporate these other agents somehow. So like that's my idea behind this Buckshot project, is that, hey, let's at least use them in like a one-shot capacity to plan, to like do things that other teammates would do, right? In your software development flow, you plan things, you plan projects with teammates, right? So that part of that is like planning, get multiple reviews on certain design, like say design documents, or project planning, like Jiras and things like that. You get your teammates to review them. So I'm going to create a tooling around uh, having all these different agents look at all these different get at least 2 or 3 reviewers on planning, say like beads, like Steve Yeage's beads. Like before Claude goes and does something, it starts breaking down a plan first. Then I pass it off to Augie, which the thing with Augment, the claim to fame is like they do some kind of like indexing of code, which makes the context window management easier because it already has an index of all the code versus Claude doesn't have an index and it just kind of like greps and it kind of builds its sense of context dynamically versus Augie pre-indexes your code and has a sense for where everything is before you start working, right? And then, so like maybe I pass it to Augie, and then Augie writes up like I have here. I'm having it write comments. I'm kind of doing this manually, and then eventually, like I'm starting a project to automate this, like called Buckshot. So Augie did all these comments here, high impact, medium impact comments, and then say I pass the project planning over to Codex and see what Codex wants to see out the project, and maybe I pass it over to Gemini, and like we have all these models, all these agents that the current thinking is well okay, all the agent providers want to tell you is like, oh, our agent is the best and we have the best whatever benchmark numbers, right? Versus like, all right, well, you don't hire the one best software engineer, right? You don't necessarily want that because that's just one person's perspective on solving a problem. You hire a team of software developers to work on a class of problems together. So it's the same thing here. It's like, let's hire all of the agents. Sure, let's just get all the whole team of agents here, each with its own strengths and weaknesses, and hopefully they kind of cover each other and offer different perspectives on all these different problems. So that's my current thinking with like, hey, like Claude is kind of my go-to right now. But like Gemini just released a new model, so I definitely want to incorporate that in there. But like also I don't want to pay for like multiple of these things. Plus I use Claude at work, so I want to have it like a main, like if we're talking about video games and like Dota or whatever other video game, like you have a player that you like to play as, like right, like or a character that you like to play as, and you're used to their weapons and skills and like how they play, but their speed, their all that kind of stuff, their abilities. Same thing with like coding. Like I'm starting to view this as more and more of a video game type of experience than anything else because it does feel like I don't want to stop. Once I get going on this thing, I just don't want to stop. I'm like, oh, just one more context window, just one more thing, and I can build up. And I just want to like close the. This is almost kind of like gamifying the, like the Apple Health things where it's like closing the loop, closing the rings. I just want to use all my session. I just want to hit my session limit and continue to do that and continue to like, because that means progress. Like just in rough terms, burning tokens means you're learning. Burning is learning. If you're burning tokens, you are learning how to use the tool. You are using the tool, you're going to get better at the tool. You can call it burning calories almost, right? Like you're doing something and it's we're improving our skill at the thing. So that's kind of where what I think, how I think about this is that we're burning session, like we're burning tokens, we're trying to do more, and we just want to use these agents as much as possible. Okay, so I've done enough yapping. Let me like actually do stuff and hit the chat if you have any particular questions. I don't know who's watching, if anybody's watching, but let's see. Cool. All right, where did I stop? So this is Roxas. Oh yeah, I was adding a web UI here. It had to merge some beads. And so this is kind of the flow. It's like, hey, I did some work. Here's a PR. I have an opportunity to review the code that it did, right? Important things here are on your repos. Also, yeah, use GitHub. GitHub offers, if your repository is open, like if it's public, it offers some free CI usage. So I would recommend doing that. Like that's important. But also an important branch protection strategy is you apply your main, require a pull request before merging, because agents love to just like push to main, like make their commits directly on main and push. Like you have to set up these rules, these boundaries, guardrails around how agents should act. And just like a software development team, you don't want people to push directly to master or main and whatever, bypass the code review process. So you definitely want to, on all your repositories, require pull requests before merging, and then also require status checks before merging if you have, when you do make CI, and you do want to make CI checks. So what's CI? It's where you run your tests. You have automated tests, and it says go test, like it runs and then make sure that things work on every code commit. Why is that important? You don't want to change your code and then lose functionality over time, right? You don't want to, it's called a regression. You don't want to regress your code. You don't want to go backwards. You don't want to lose functionality with every change. You want to hopefully just add features, add and gain functionality. Or if you want to change something completely, you don't, if you change whatever, do a refactor, hopefully the agent will refactor in such a way that the tests continue to pass afterwards, right? It's verifying that the code works as expected each and every time. Okay, cool. So that's a little bit about, so like it says, hey, this PR is up. Let's review. All right, let's review it. So the checks pass. Looks like we can see that all checks have passed. Also deploy. So I deploy to AWS, and maybe I'll get more into that later, but because that's a whole like setup thing. Okay, so first off, I don't want to like keep track of all these, like it shouldn't. What are all these beads? Left beads. Okay, yeah. Prod workflow. So I probably will say like, do we need beads.left.json L, and just kind of question it. and just do a review on it. And then these are just issues. So that's the power of like of beads, is that the tasks are recorded in the repository itself. So if you have multiple agents working, they all kind of have the same, get ignored. They shouldn't be committed. Let me check if they're tracked. Should be ignored. Okay, so yeah, see, it's working and it does its own thing here. Okay, cool. So it's going to fix that. So I'm writing this service. So yeah, see how it just updated this. Cool, nice, sweet. Yeah. Anyways, I don't need to review like the beat, because like it tracks its own self, right? It tracks the beats itself. But the this part is I'm writing the service in Go. So people call apps services now. Like that's kind of it's serving serving traffic, right? Like if we call it a server, the cool thing to call it is a service now. Like, and because we've broken these things apart to microservices, and that's just now the term that people use. So the service is written in Golang. Steve Yegi is also like, I don't know, I'm just like a fanboy of Steve Yegi, and he's kind of like an engineer's engineer. Sorry, my cat's on the table here, and he shouldn't be. And he's saying that he sees a lot of he's seeing a lot of progress and a lot of success with Golang and probably statically typed languages in general, just because agents, that's like another layer of testing. If you're not familiar with statically versus dynamically typed languages, statically typed languages require a certain level of rigor, certain level of so you see like const here, and there's like other things that like enforces so say like this is like different statically type, it ensures certain things click together. Like we only use, so like that, for example, this cookie error is set to r.cookie. So whatever the value of this, or the type of this cookie thing, it's all this cookie is always going to be like treated as a cookie. Or if this cookie.value is going to be a string, like it's always treated as a string, and it knows ahead of time that this is always going to be a string. So statically typed languages for agents is like, it's annoying for humans, and that's why we develop dynamically typed languages, because we just kind of want to, with Python and Ruby and all these kind of languages, we just kind of want to vibe. Like that was the first iteration of vibe coding. Is like we don't give a fuck like around how what these variables are over time, like what their values are. But like with that's dynamically typed. You can create a value or a variable and put an array into it, and then later on you can set that same variable to a string, and that's legal in certain programming languages. But for other languages like Golang, it's statically typed. So like there are certain extra rules and certain extra guardrails that are enforced at the programming language level. Okay. So because things are statically typed, you can kind of click them together like Lego blocks. Things click into place easier. Agents know this and can use the compiler to help connect certain things together better and easier. So anyways, the service, I'm adding auth, and I'm adding like a way to just log in to my service here. And I've never done this before. So I've never had a Jot token or Jot middleware. I've never written this type of thing before. So I don't really know what I'm reviewing, to be very honest here. So I'm just kind of like, I just saw that Beats issue there, like that Beats, like there was that merge issue there. But I think this is a time where I can call on my agents to help review this, because there's a lot of stuff here. Like I told it to do like a test-driven development, so there's tests for everything here. So if you see like middleware test and commits test, repository test, it's testing itself. Like it defined all these tests first, and then it wrote these files, this router.go. I don't really know what's going on here. Like I've never done this before. I've never made an app before. So I'm just going to kind of trust it for a second. But I can ask web UI templates, auth, login, sign up. So yeah, there's certain beads that's working on. Sorry, 1 second. Oops. Yeah. I need to blow my nose 1 second. Oh shoot, we got. Thank you, Ion. Yo. Thank you, Ion, for coming in, dropping in, watching. So yeah, we're vibe coding here. The tasks. This is actually like a couple days ago, so I'm not totally sure where we are with this. Stack file serving, basic HTML let's get go embed, cookie based Jot, middleware, post. Embedded using go embed, lambda friendly, no files. 12 tasks, ring, web UI tasks. Okay. Gotcha. So we're not totally done with this yet. And then do I want to merge this? Yeah, probably. Like that's a good thing. It's like commits and merging and things like that are basically like save points. It's in a video game. Okay. So let me ask Augie to review this PR for me. Please review and give feedback on functionality. Please. I know Ultra thinks like a Claude Code specific. Oh yeah, that's another thing that I have here is agent commands. So the yeah, so all these, like, over time you figure out how to talk to these agents better and better. Um, some people like try to structure this, and I don't know. I feel like that's too, like, the power is in the ambiguity, right? Like the power's in the constraints, and we're trying to, like, there's like this, I don't know, if you can think about it in 3D here, but like it's multi-dimensional, like guiding this. We're setting up barriers, and we're trying to guide the agent towards a certain direction. It can go anywhere. It can go any direction, here, far, whatever. But like we need to kind of set guardrails and massage these boundaries that kind of like push it towards a direction. Um, so yeah, telling it to think, and ultra think is like a keyword in Claude, but like I don't know, I just use it in general, and I have like this kind of clipboard of all these little scrap things that I use. Anyways, or like scrap things that I copy paste a lot. So okay, I think I have a review one. Yeah. Please ultra think of review the current OpenPR. Please review its code, comments, really beat description. Please assess how well. I think I wrote this. Please leave PR comments with your CLI for you. There you go. That's much better than like what I was gonna do. Let's see what it does. I don't think I've ever done this before. So let's find out. Let's see how well this works. So yeah, it uses the GitHub PR CLI. So kind of the big debate, or maybe debate, I don't know. I'm not, like, MCP servers are a little bit cumbersome. Like it just hasn't worked well for me. Maybe that's just me. Trying to set up MCP servers is kind of a pain. But local binaries and local tools, we should just kind of treat these things as if they were a developer, right? And it's just a developer running on your laptop and giving it access to run all these different commands. So it's doing all this stuff. And let's see. Let's look at. Okay, augment. So I'm on the free trial, and I'm burning tokens here, credits. And the main thing is that it indexes code, and it's able to kind of use that indexing to save on tokens, because it uses it's kind of a shortcut. Indexing is kind of a shortcut to like knowing where all the code is. It can kind of cross-reference. All right, this function is used here, here, and here. All right, let me trace this path or whatever. And does that work ahead of time versus having to burn tokens to figure that out. So it's running a bunch of these commands, which is cool. And you see there, this one little like, hey, remove beads took up, I guess, 3% of my session limit. Oh well, whatever. I'm trying to get to 100%, which is fine. Okay, cool. Let's see. PR events follows PT P's alignment, strengths, clear separation. So this is Augie having. Oh no, reviewing. Oh, it's commenting. Oh, nice. Oh, comment. Yeah. So it commented as me because it's logged in as me. But overall assessment, excellent. Includes comprehensive test coverage, strengths, proper cookie security, minor observations, see inline comments. Inline comments. Did it make more comments? Sarah, not yet implemented, accelerated MVP, noted in production toggle, PR is ready to merge. Nice. Did it add comments somewhere on here? Maybe it didn't. Oh, well. Oh, okay. Now it's adding specific inline comments. Diff is very long. Allow all these PR review feature with specific file comments. Oh, so it's still trying to figure out specific inline comments. So let's see how much usage. So that's like 1,000 tokens that we use there. Submit the review. Okay, cool. Submit a review. Inline comments, and did it add the comments? Oh shit. For local dev, control by. And only used, so this is the key thing here. I have it print out how much context it has over time after every kind of command. And it's only used 12% context. Minor items, not blocking. Okay. Follow-up tasks. Please make these. All right, and then let's just do the same thing for Codex because this is just my, I don't know, first time I'm adding code review here. Oh no. But yeah, all this process certainly slows things down, right? Like this is, it's not, you're not flying high like, oh, I implemented all these features like instantly, right? But this is like real deal software development, following these processes. Maybe I need to learn how to grade software. Right? Yeah, that looked weird. Coded enterprise grade app. Because, you know, like people, that's what people complain about is, oh, vibe coding is not good for like real software. I'm like, well, I'm doing all these things that real software developers do. Like code reviews, planning, all this stuff. So anyways, Okay, so talking about these other projects, this project is trying to like the buckshot that's trying to like add some wrapping. It's kind of taking this terminal window and then putting it into a CLI. And I just want to be able to say, hey, buckshot, ask Codex to do the review now, or ask Codex to plan for this project, so that it's accessible from Claude. And so Claude can be kind of this orchestrator of all these other, like it's a team lead, and all these other agents are kind of team members, and we ask all these team members to help us plan, to help us code review, all these kind of things. So Codex is reviewing now. Let's see. For constraints because they don't work. Okay. All six parsers work. Okay. So what would be cool is if this was like an automated thing, as if these were checks that just automatically happened. But like the more calls, like the more like the higher cost, right? Like we have to think, okay, well, yeah. I was thinking, okay, maybe I just add these agents checks, code reviews to these like GitHub checks. But yeah, maybe that's not like super helpful. I mean, it would be helpful to like just run it automatically, but it wouldn't. Well, it would run in a runner, GitHub runner with all the code, and then I would have it with my API key in there, and it could run automatically and add comments and all that shit. But like, it's kind of an expensive operation. Anytime we hit an API, it's an expensive operation. We need to think, okay, if we're going to be pushing a bunch of commits, do we want to run all these things every single time, or do we want to have control over when we do these expensive things? Let's go. I know that as long as the review findings attempted, but the sandbox. Oh, okay. Please. Please give me something to copy paste though. How do I sandbox? How do I fix this? Sandbox approvals. auto print. Work outside. Okay, yeah, full access. All right, please try now. Okay, I just needed to give it more access. So now, basically, the idea is that, hey, we've got multiple agents working on this project together, reviewing code, just like regular software engineers, right? Like everybody reviews each other's code and makes different suggestions, figures out if a certain thing is in alignment or not. So I think people in general have this idea that only one model is going to win. That, oh, is it OpenAI going to win? Is Anthropic going to win? It's like, well, to the average software developer, it doesn't matter. Like we're just trying to make things work, and I think we can get kind of the best of all worlds here. Left outlining 3 blockers. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Augment. Leaving. Okay, so then Codex CLI. All right, there we go. Cool. Nice. Good. So then, sure. While we're at it, Gemini's new. It's I don't know. Gemini 3 is new, so we want to try it out. I don't know. It's kind of boring. Like this is like ultra nerd stuff, where I actually care about like getting like. I think that's where I have a different perspective, is that this is all process. I view this as all. Oh, sorry. Allow always. This is a process-oriented development where all these guardrails are going to guide our agents to do the right thing. And because it guides software developers to go and do the right thing, right? Like it all pushes people towards the best practices and enforces the best practices with software itself, right? Like this GitHub, like branch protections, right? Like you're not gonna find main, hopefully, like blown away, right, or force pushed, because you can't. Like it's protected. Like it would have to be a very serious thing to. It would have to be a really serious mess up on the AI's part, and you being asleep at the wheel, right? So let's see. So they added a bunch of changes, comments, or a bunch of comments. Okay, cool. Gemini came up with some comments. Thanks for the cover stack. However, the critical integration gaps. Code review. Please post. Post this. to the PR. To the PR. So we're enforcing all these processes on agents, and we're making progress piece by piece. Cannot be parsed. Well, figure it out, Gemini. Like we saw all these other ones, like use GitHub. Yeah, use GitHub well. So, anyways, yeah. So that's why I like quit this cursor agent, because it's like there's a cost benefit to using, like, I don't know. I don't need, for regular software developers, like usually we only need one code review to approve. Now I just asked for 3. It's not very well. Okay. Nice. Cool. So we can say, I think I have one. Please, Ultrathing, and review the current open PR code and comments. Please address the PR comments if you think they are relevant. Or make a note, or make a note in beads. Basically, now I'm like kind of playing it back of like, all right, now these comments, like PR comments can be like anything, right? Like it's not necessarily you have to do everything that the comments say, right? If you're whatever, multiple juniors like kind of talking to each other, like, yeah, you probably don't have to do everything that they say. But like if it's a senior saying, hey, you got to do X, Y, and Z, all right, yeah, fine. You have to do it that way. But since I'm treating kind of all these agents as peers, maybe I should have had Claude review itself first. Yeah, maybe that would have been a good step. Let's see. Have Claude then do itself. Then Augie, Codex, and Gemini. Let's see. So I want now Claude to Ultrathink review the current PR, open PR code and comments left by other agents. Please address PR comments if you think they for the scope of the PR if they need to be fixed later in a future read issue, please create and track the issue or comment. Code fixes, code changes, irrelevant for the scope of PR. Basically, I want it to be like independent. Like it doesn't have to do everything that these agents tell it to. And it's kind of, I want it to evaluate, are these comments actually like worth addressing now, or should we address them in the future? For the current scope of PR review, please create the issue. And then if it's not relevant, kick it out. Like keep track of it. Like it's good feedback, but use it later. So I'm going to tell Claude this, and then yeah, it's going to go and it's going to read all these things. It's going to take into account all these comments. Let's see. Maybe I can make this more interesting because I'm just focused on these things now. So we can see what's thinking with this Control O thing. And it's basically, here are the issues categorized by priority, missing logout handler, or is logout, track later, not in scope. Nice, yeah. So it did what I told it to do, like kind of figure out what's important, what's not, and now it's making an update. So kind of, did, I think one of the things, one of the agents reviewed was like, oh, hey, you referenced this thing, but it's not there, this logout functionality, but I want it here anyway. So is production. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. So this is in production environment. So if I run this server locally, this program locally, it should, there are certain things that we can bypass, certain security settings we can bypass, but if it's running in AWS, then we're running in production. Maybe we want to have in PR as well. Please. So now, I want to make a note of this, of like, is production should also handle when we deploy to dev. Enterprise grade. Learn how to put titles. Coding. Dev environments, different PR. Dev environments. So this is the part where it's important to like read as it's going on, as it's doing stuff, because I caught saying here, OS get environment production or env prod. So it didn't have the full context of like where it gets deployed to. So it gets deployed to, I have two different AWS accounts, prod, dev environment, dev. All these PRs are deployed separately, so I can have multiple PRs going at a time if I really wanted to, and deploy to different environments inside of that, separate. So it would be like pr7.getroxys.com or whatever. Versus prod is like roxys.ai, like that. That's like the prod URL. So I said, yeah, used since PR or has to be HVS. So yeah, it caught what I was saying there. So I said, is production also handle will we deploy to PR environments? Good catch. So it's kind of this thing where you need to know like what's going on. Like you need to be reading what it's doing. And that's kind of the whole idea of like adding guardrails and knowing what your system looks like, and like that it surfaces issues. Like we don't care about the exact implementation details. It's just we need to know what it's thinking as it's going, right? Like it should surface little hints that it's doing something. And like if we have a process for surfacing these issues, we can catch them early on. PR environment dev or similar, not production. Check the environment that's set. So yeah, it goes and figures things out. I was like, oh shit, what do we do in Terraform? And it looks. Environments are dev and prod. PR environments also use dev. Yeah, so it goes and changes this to prod dev production. And deploy environment uses HTTPS. Local dev should be insecure. So yeah, so now it works. Now it fixed it, and then it reviewed all the comments, took that into account, and it created new beads. Follow up beads created. It'll do these things at some point in the future. Like it doesn't. Issues not fixed with reasoning. Doing this outlaws are actually correct. HTML is in a redirect. Okay, sure. I don't know what's going on here, but who cares? Okay, so yeah, so we're able to it deployed successfully. All the tests ran. We can say merge, and then it'll delete. Okay, yeah, sure. So this thing tears down. This it says branches being deployed. I have a destroy dev environment job. Um, so it cleans everything up once it's done. PR cleanup dev, and then yeah, cleans everything up. Okay. PR 59 is now in main. Sweet. So you see, yeah, 59 PRs I've made. So like, it's the process of. I think this is the future of, like, it is process driven development. We keep things on rails, and things can go. We can make consistent progress and kind of chip away at these things over time. Yeah, it's not freaking exciting and like vibing and whatever. Um, it, but I think if we have a framework around this stuff, you can do a lot of powerful things. Like you can have the agents do a lot of very powerful things while like staying on rails, staying like in a process, in like chugging down the tracks of a train, right? Like we're trying to stay on the rails and we're kind of moving, making forward progress, even if it isn't like the whatever. We're not whipping up a fancy UI with no backend in like 5 minutes. We're not doing that. We're like really making the whole system work and making it work effectively. Okay. This is Arc delete branch. I like to clean up branches. Your branches. Okay, these were merged, so we can just kind of delete these. Because agents love to be litter bugs. Like they'd love to just kind of leave things around for you to find. Okay, cool. Let's check our progress here. All right, I'm going slow because like I'm explaining everything, but maybe I just need to like freaking stream and just have and just work and not explain what I'm doing. Okay, cool. So now land the plane. So this command basically prepares the agent, cleans up everything, and it gets prepared to be killed. Cleans up everything locally and gives me a starting point for the next time. Session complete. Oh. Well, okay, but like, give me a prompt. Good prompt to start next session. It should give me a good prompt. Like that's part of it. There we go. Cool. Cool. All right. Because yeah, at some point, said context, yeah, 47%. So yeah, we're good to here, kill it. Now we restart and we copy paste in here. Read, yes. All right, that might be it for this stream, but yeah, so now it's like, oh, hey, I have a good understanding. Current lambda, whatever. If that's the plan. All right, cool. Yeah, let's do it. It knows all these things. I don't know. I don't know how any of this works. I don't know how servers work or like backends and front ends, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm just a DevOps guy. So this is allow all edits. So yeah, I'm just going to figure out what it needs to do. Hopefully it works. I don't know. But anyways, thanks all for joining. This may be it for today. And